All right, we're live. Click it.
We're live.
1, 2.
Ah!
Yes.
Clap.
My pod shuffle. We're here.
We're back.
We're live.
Oh,
Saturday
we're
night. It's actually
starting.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday.
Glorious Tuesday in the
Taco
basement.
Tuesday.
You thought it was over
This is weird. Looking at the camera.
instead
looking
of
into
you.
the Shuffler's souls.
We are in person. We're live. Literally.
We're-
alive still.
We're alive. We're live. We are living.
We are alive. And we have no idea what we're doing. We're essentially starting over from scratch. It's been over a year since our last podcast.
Obviously, we're doing video now. Although,
Obviously.
maybe not obviously, because you could be listening on Spotify,
Right. Thinking.
where it's like audio only, and
Mhm.
you're like, oh, it's same old, same old. No,
No.
we're upgrading for season 2.
Everyone told us last year, why don't you have video? And the obvious answer was we were remote. We were doing all of our podcasts apart.
Yep.
I was in Alabama. I'm now back in Colorado, home sweet home. And
Yes.
we can do podcasts in person. In fact, I think we're going to keep it that way because we are no longer subscribed to our other platform.
Riverside. I always hated them.
Whoa,
No,
yeah.
they were faithful.
They never paid us a single dollar, so we can
That's
say
true.
that.
Yeah, well, yeah, the audio quality on there was, I meant video quality. The video quality on there was pretty bad.
It was bad, and also we never dressed up like we did today. Like we are.
Yeah,
to the
we're
nines. Look really good today.
somewhat matching. I actually don't have shoes. I just noticed that you do have dress
I have my
shoes
dress
on.
shoes. I'm party up top, business
Yeah.
down below.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what they say.
Repping the college, repping.
Yep, we got
My
our
pod shuffle.
t-shirt. We have a giant package of mini stickers that we still have not given away. So
we need more fans, basically.
yes. It was
Uh,
fun putting them all over the place in Huntsville. People just
yeah,
like-
just any random restaurant or establishment that
Yep.
took stickers. Yep.
It's weird looking at the camera. My phone is the camera. It's a nice camera.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I'm gonna look at the camera at all, cause like now we're addressing the shufflers.
Yeah.
Like I probably will only do it when I'm directly addressing them,
Mm-hmm.
whoever they is.
It's the third
but-
person. You've heard of that in the podcast, right? The third chair in the room.
I actually don't think I have, but I
It's-
understand it immediately.
Yeah,
because I'm a smart guy.
Now you have an audience that we're talking to. Because before it
Yeah.
was online, it was just me and you looking at each other on Zoom or
Yep.
the online screen, and
Mhm.
so I could always read you. And it was always hard to address the audience. And
Yeah.
now it feels like we've gone to 3 dimensions. If you're watching this, we're here,
We are here.
and there's no editing this time.
Yeah,
There's no
or
escape.
At least, okay.
There
You're
might be a
scaring
little
me.
editing.
There's gonna be a
Like
little
right now.
editing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
We got
We could
all
keep
cut
that
out.
in.
Or we
I
keep it in.
could, I could say
We could keep that
a
in.
lot of words right now that would force us.
Right, but then
to make
but
a
then the
cut.
podcast would just be a bunch of cuts. And also, we only have one camera right now, which does not bode well.
So we can't hide anything.
It's really hard. Yeah. If for some reason the video skips,
Mhm.
you'll notice if you're watching. If you're listening online, you won't be able to tell at all.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play it by ear. So far,
Pretty good.
being in person helps significantly with our timing.
Yeah, it does. We don't interrupt
a
each
lot.
other as much.
Yes.
That happen all the time. But a lot of that's because of, just think of any Zoom meeting you've ever been in, and it's the same as that. Like, you're always going
Yeah.
to be constantly interrupting each other. You can literally see my mouth movements and when I'm about to stop. And from my body language when I'm about to end
Right, there's
the
a whole lot
sentence.
of other factors. So we're here. It's a new year. It's 2025. Our last podcast was technically recorded in 2023.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time. So we're
crazy.
going to use this podcast to kind of catch you up with what we've been up to the past year,
1 year,
over a
yeah.
year. And we're going to do it by going through our first year's podcast and kind of picking the themes, because we missed a whole year of podcasts. We're not going to do every single genre, but we're going to kind of pick elements from our favorite episodes and kind of see how
Yeah.
those have continued in our lives the past
Yes.
year. But for this new year, we're not doing weekly episodes, which is going to be disappointing to a lot of people. But being in person is a lot harder to get on the schedule.
It's harder. Well,
But it's
I'm
easier in
I'm
when you're
thinking, setup wise, like partially growing pains took us like hour and a half to set this all up.
Yeah.
But, that just doesn't happen on Riverside. You can just hop on. 5 minutes, you're ready, start recording.
Yeah. We'll get faster with time.
Yeah, we'll get faster.
But we tried to set up sound effects, which took us so long.
Yes.
This is Sam's first idea. He was like, "What kind of sound effects should we use for the podcast?" We had a decent list from Riverside last time, and his idea was the.
I could just subtly hear it in the background because, as you can see, I don't have the headphones because I forgot them. So
I'm wearing
that's
headphones
great.
right now.
So Alex can hear
my
it.
nice new Christmas headphones.
So I can press that as many times as I want, and it's not going to affect me. but it will
it's just
affect you.
And you.
Which is
and
great.
You, or the listener. Or we can cut it out.
Yeah,
But
and whoever edits this.
Which
is
Sam
not going to happen.
Sam
no
will
editing.
continue to be the significant editor. We both had, we're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
We both had editing experience when we were making our music and took the year to really commit to that, which I think was successful. But there's still a lot that we have to learn.
Yeah, there's still a lot. And, so I want to point out some other upgrades we got. Hopefully you can tell from hearing. It's hard for us to know for sure right now, but we both got Shure SM7Bs.
We got some nice,
which are like everybody uses
microphones
in podcasting and streaming. Not that that's like the thing you should go by. It's like, oh, everybody's using this. But there's a reason. Sometimes there's a reason that everybody uses it. It's because these are very good quality in this case.
Yeah, we both.
So.
You didn't use that for your music, or you're going to now, right?
I actually don't know what I'm going to do. I might do a mix. I'm going to probably test them against each other because my other microphone is really good as well. It's just also much older and has maybe just different use cases. So I don't know, like vocally and instrument recording, if one's going to be better than the other overall. So we'll see.
Cool.
We'll get some testing.
I'm also noticing now with this live thing, I can't mute myself. It's a lot harder to mute myself. Just like leave the area. So we're doing it in one take, and what was that? Okay, we're back. My Pod Shuffle, Season 2, Episode 1, genre recap episode.
Here
we go.
Recap.
Oh, and it didn't work. Technical difficulties. That's unfortunate.
You know what our technical?
We could fix that.
You know what our?
We could just try it again. Well, this one works. That's great.
That's great. I was gonna say that's our technical difficulty.
There
noise.
it is. Sound effect. Theme song. We're probably gonna try and have a new theme song for Season 2. But
like we didn't have one for a while before.
Yeah.
So like there's no rush.
Yeah. Somewhere through halfway, we'll bring it back a new one.
I don't even know. I just have to guess where we are in the song.
Oh, we're almost done.
A little more.
All right. So, let's start episode 1. Our first episode was behind the scenes.
We're back to episode 1.
What I wrote down, we have notes in front of us now. We kind of are professional. We have our things set. We kind of already did the behind the scenes. We let you know what we're back. We're excited to bring you back new stuff. In terms of rhythm, we're trying to do it once a month. We'll see. We're not committing to anything this time because commitments are.
It's a lot of work.
You're scared of commitments. I'm about to get married, which I feel like is the first thing that we should talk about.
Okay,
it's a pretty big life update. We're going to jump around a little bit, but
okay, jump around.
In terms of relationships, big news. I got engaged over 2024.
Let's go. I have to give my second reaction.
Would be a great thing.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
which I already told him, obviously.
Yes.
And plenty of times, I'm sure. But
yep.
I gotta get my reaction in there for the content. You know how it is.
Yeah, you sounded really
congratulations,
excited for me.
though.
Thank you. It was really exciting.
A long time coming.
Yes.
For basically everybody around you. We were all wondering.
Everyone was waiting. Everyone's like, when are you going to ask her?
Exactly.
The pressure was there. It was 9 years of dating since high school. I'm not going to go in the detailed story here, but it was a lot of planning and a lot of lying, and it ended up with a trip in Chicago where I proposed on top of the London House Hotel over the river in Chicago. It was beautiful. It was awesome.
You guys did a bunch of stuff. Then after that, so that right when you did the proposal was that wasn't the Michelin star restaurant, was it?
It was the day after. Speaking of our Michelin star episode, I took my own advice and went to a Michelin star restaurant, and I can say it was the most amazing food I've ever had in my life.
Okay, because I guess so. I'm a little behind. I just watched The Menu for the first time.
Okay.
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
We'll get
Horror
more into
movie
that.
with
Some twists
in terms of
some
evil
messages
chefs.
about society
Okay.
and things like that. But you've seen it.
Yes. Yes.
Probably
I have.
a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what I think of.
When you think,
I think a Michelin star is like these overpriced,
right?
like nothing burgers of
Right.
like
No food.
What is this?
So
actual food.
I'll debunk at least my experience
Okay.
because every Michelin star restaurant's different.
Yeah.
And I know we spent only a minute on my engagement, but we'll come
get back
back
to
to
it.
that another day.
This is all part of the engagement.
All part of it. We went to a Michelin star Mexican themed restaurant called Topo Lo Bampo in Chicago. Say that again. Say it for me.
Topo Lo Bampo.
Topo Lo Bampo.
Topo Lo Bampo.
And it was not, we got fed. We got fed good. We had like 9 entrees. It's like 9 separate meals, and all of them were pretty decently sized. It was taco themed. We went through all the tacos of Mexico City.
Okay.
And so I tried things. You know me, I'm a decently picky eater. Over the years, I've been a little more adventurous. Mm-hmm. But this was the first time I had caviar. This is the first time I had bone marrow. 2 things that are like pretty out there. But yeah, dude, just crazy taco ingredients. And in terms of price, I mean, we did splurge, of course, because it's a Michelin star restaurant. But
and engagement
realistically,
weekend.
there are a lot of 1-star restaurants that you could go to and get a solid meal, like 6-course meal for like $100.
Yep.
Which I know like is a knee-jerk reaction a lot, but think about like going out to eat these days. At any Applebee's, Olive Garden, you're spending $30 on yourself, maybe more if you get an extra appetizer. It's not the free breadsticks and salad, and you're getting there. So just 2 dinners.
You're a generous
save up.
tipper.
Yeah.
So does that include
the tip?
The tip, or however that works, or is that built in?
Oh man, I don't remember. I think you pay for it all ahead of time, so it's kind of like you just enjoy the experience. My dad also got us some really nice champagne when we got there. He surprised us. We got to the front desk, and they're like, "Oh, this is on the house from your parents."
Okay.
And me, I'm just like, is that the way they say the owners here? Like, are we all family?
Yeah, this is one big family.
And I was like, Leslie's like, no, it's from your dad. I'm like, my dad, he's in Florida. So he called ahead, and it was very nice to celebrate us. So, yeah, man, the food was great. I cried. I did cry. Leslie also cried. She cried at the beginning when she took a bite of an empanada, and I cried at the end when I took a bite of a chocolate, like,
it's very poetic.
Chocolate dessert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little sandwich cry there.
Sandwich crying.
Yeah.
It was
pretty good.
It was really good. Yeah.
Oh man. I had like I always wonder, I have certain jokes that I'm like could have interrupted and interjected. But I was just thinking while you were saying that, it sounded funny when you said 1-star restaurants, and it's like makes it just sound like the most trash place ever.
I was hyping up the
1-star restaurants, they cost $100.
I was telling everyone that, her family too. I was like, I'm going to take her to a 1-star restaurant. And they're like, my daughter? You're taking my daughter to a 1-star restaurant? Like, no, it's a Michelin star. It's like, oh, it's even worse. I don't sell tires there?
The Michelin Man. Yeah.
The Michelin Man. Michelin Man. I feel like we can have some good third wall breaking moments here with
I feel like we
camera.
got some good stares.
Some good stares in here. It just feels good to look at the camera. Now does the camera like looking at us? That's the other question. Well, that's my big update.
Okay.
The engagement, the wedding coming up in summer. Yes. So yeah. How about you, Sam? What's big in your life?
Well, I was invited to be part of your wedding, so that's pretty big.
You will be there. Yes.
I'll say the reason, there's some branches off of that are going to affect me. Number 1 being the bachelor party. Which I know it's a future thing, but I'm kind of counting it as part of my bucket list.
Okay.
Because I have nothing else to show for it for this last year.
You've done nothing else this year, so Sam's gonna look from in the future.
It's not that I haven't done anything. I've done things, but nothing that it's like I had this big thing on my bucket list.
Yeah.
Which I think my bucket list is shorter, probably.
Which you did release. Your single, which I would say is a pretty huge thing.
I did.
That you did.
I did release a single. I don't know. I like go back and forth. I don't know if that was never like a huge like big life goal necessarily.
Okay.
But maybe.
But I forced you to do it.
Among others, you and others forced me to do it. So.
Okay. All right. So
we'll come.
Why are we
we'll
talking
come
about
back
this
to that.
bachelor
So all
trip?
that to say, we're going on a cruise.
We are.
And that means we are going out of the country. And I've never been out of the country before.
So you've never been on a cruise?
I've never been on a cruise,
And
I've
never
been out of the country.
You know, me and you also, the first time you were on a plane together was me. So we're doing land, new country,
land,
sea on a cruise, and we've done the plane. So trifecta friendship right there. That's cool. Are you nervous about either A, getting on a giant cruise ship, and B, going to a new country? We're going to Mexico, by the way.
I am not nervous. Really, I'm pretty more just excited for all of it. Because I feel like, we're going to have the flight to LA there first. And it's like, I've flown much more at this point since the first time we did that. It's like you're always nervous on the first one. But then I really like flying now. Not that I do it a whole lot, but I do enjoy it.
You enjoy it?
I do enjoy it quite a bit.
What do you enjoy about it? Just real quick sentence.
I don't know. It's weird to say. I love just having the snacks. I know it's like such a small portion of the hundreds of dollars that you pay for the flight. It's like such a dumb thing.
Yeah.
But it's like I like the snacks. I just like the experience of like looking out the window and just saying, this is a crazy view.
Yeah.
I can just stare out the window the whole time.
That's cool.
And then, ideally, if you're flying with friends,
right,
you're chilling together, just hanging out. You got a few hours to hang out.
The snacks.
And then whatever else.
I love it.
I don't know. Good. That's like
cool.
That's what I always think of.
I like the solitary time. I like to read and like to focus and like to journal when I fly because it's like the one time. Sometimes I'll talk to the person next to me, and that's good. But it's the one time I can just sit and kind of just reflect.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good time for reflection. I definitely never talk to anybody that's next to me unless they initiate. Then I'm like,
right,
I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
There was one guy who we could cut this out.
We always try to not go down rabbit holes. But
here's the problem.
This is the fun of podcasts.
It's the shuffle of the shuffle where we have so many sub-segments that have branching paths that we could talk about the engagement for an hour.
Yeah.
More. We could talk about all of these topics for an hour, which we have because they're past episodes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to tell the story.
You never know. And we're trying, viewers, if you're listening, like, send us your suggestions because now that we're doing less podcasts, like, we really want to know what you guys want to hear because we could talk about anything for hours.
I guess that is one consideration. We could go longer for this episode.
We'll see how
because
we missed a lot.
We'll see. We
did like 52
there's
hours.
A lot of an entire
missed episode.
52-hour episode.
Could you imagine just like being sitting in a room and just like falling asleep? Like sleep's okay, but just like having the microphone with you the entire time.
That would be crazy.
We should maybe do like a 24-hour podcast.
Oh,
24-hour live podcast. I feel like doing it live is actually a lot more doable. There's no way I would agree to do more than an hour and a half online. Like that's too much. But.
Well, because people do that. I don't know how much like into the streaming scene you're on, but people nowadays they like to do subathons, and those are like sometimes just straight on for like a month, and then sleep in between. But besides that, they're sometimes they have other people fill in for them, but it's pretty continuous for like a lot of it, and people will just do that to get more viewers and build an audience because if you're that consistent. That's just how you bring in a lot of people.
Now you say that, I'm kind of getting a little sleepy.
It is.
So wait, who's this guy? Who's this guy that you ran into on the plane? You brought it up.
I was gonna not say it, but now that we're doing the 52-hour podcast now, it was a guy who just saw the logo on my bag for crew, and then
not my pod shuffle.
No, not my pod shuffle. Unfortunately, that would be crazy though. The first time somebody in the wild recognizes me from my pod shuffle, especially now that we have video, it's gonna be a crazy moment.
The face reveals is out.
The face. This is what we actually.
This is what we actually.
Sorry, ladies.
So the guy in crew started talking to you about Jesus, I assume.
Well, so he didn't say anything, I think, until like near the end of the flight, and then he basically just said, "Hey, like nice bag." and then he left. I honestly can't remember if he said anything else, but he might have been talking to me before that, and then he only mentioned his involvement at the very end.
Yeah.
Or he just said that.
That's
I
a safe
honestly
move.
can't remember.
That's a safe move in the plane. The plane scene is like,
Yeah.
wait until the end, drop a few sentences on them. Peace out.
But it's like when you have a connection with like a group. I feel like it's a little different. Yeah.
So it feels good.
Cool.
Feels good to be recognized.
Yeah, it does.
All right. We went down some rabbit hole. You're not nervous.
Rabbit hole? Recreation services.
We just did an escape room at a rabbit hole. Recommend.
Yes.
Man, we're in trouble.
Oh, man.
Focus.
We can't.
Focus.
This is here. The reason we can cut that off.
Podcast. We're not cutting anything out.
2025.
Yeah.
We did that murder mystery in 2025, so legally cannot discuss it.
Except this cruise that you want to talk about.
Except this, because the plan for it started before the end of the year.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Little different. That's why I said, and I had.
Anything else?
I released, released some music. There's nothing else that I did the entire year.
Nothing
from my
else.
bucket list.
Okay. But cruise is next on that list. Cruise and getting out of the country.
Getting out of the country.
You are learning Spanish.
I'm learning Spanish.
You told me you're on Duolingo or other ways to learn Spanish.
Yes, Duolingo. And then number 2, my strategy is just watching Spanish content and trying to get the immersion.
Okay.
Because from other people that I know, like one of my friends who's from Brazil, she says that like that's where she learned English primarily. Is from American content.
Marvel
which like
movies.
There's a ton of it. So I'm thinking maybe that's part of it.
Yeah.
Like I think nowadays like there's some good stuff from like Mexico and Spain. The one that I'm watching right now being Money Heist.
Good one.
So we're doing it fully Spanish subtitles. We're gonna see if that gets me anywhere by the time we get to the cruise. But
all right, sweet,
see.
Cool, good content.
Yes. Bucket list for you.
Bucket list for me. Man, I did write down a few things. Last year I did Uber driving for a little bit.
I don't know if I knew that. I saw that on there.
Yeah.
Or you did it for 6 months?
6
last
months.
Year?
I think, yeah. I Ubered people around in my car.
Okay.
I have a Subaru, so I called it the Uberu.
The Uberu.
The Uberu. I tried to make a brand out of it. It did not successfully.
Everybody hated it. One star.
I will say in Alabama there's a certain prejudice against Subarus for some reason. And I'd pull up and constantly I'd have like, these big engineer guys walk into my car and be like, "Oh, you're not who I was expecting to drive this car." And I'd just be like, Yeah, I get that a lot. How you doing? You having a good night? It was chill. You got to meet so many different people, but I wouldn't say it's on my bucket list, but it was something that I was like, I wanted to try it. I had all those side quests. I got to go skeet shooting for the first time.
Yeah,
that's been on my bucket list. Got to shoot some
cool.
some skeet with my
not
my
skeet
shotgun
with your shooting.
I shoot the skeet, and then I went to a Michelin star restaurant, which was absolutely on my on my bucket list.
There
so
you go. Okay, you got a good chunk of that checked off then.
I did. Yep, it's great. I had a question for you.
Yeah,
just from the year. So, how would you describe 2024 in 3 words?
So, you're gonna make fun of me. It's a bad list, and it's actually 4 words.
Okay, that's
because
terrible.
One of the words, it's more of a
believe
term. It's more of groupings of terms. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna say it. So, escape room.
Okay,
that's one of them. You know what I mean?
Hyphenate that, that's fine.
2 words. And
that's
it's
fine.
like
I'll
obviously
count that as 1 word. Escape room. Okay.
So I worked there. At this point, it's almost been exactly a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, took almost all of that year. Big part of it. You're gonna make fun of me for this. I put Frosthaven on here. Because
tell them what Frosthaven is.
Frosthaven's a board game.
Okay.
It's a we spent
hours,
like $250 on it or something. So big investment, huge game. But the reason I brought it up, even as silly as it is to say that just one board game sums up the year, is because we did it basically every Monday this past year. So in a way, it's my pod shuffle.
It replaced us.
Frosthaven. It honestly did. So, I mean, well, it's also, there is a cool story behind it as well, because when I went to CU Boulder Career Fair, reconnected with my buddy Brandon, and then basically we started out with Gloomhaven, which is the first game in the series, and then Frosthaven's the sequel. So we finished Gloomhaven, and then we were doing that every Monday, sometimes multiple times a week. And now, because it's in person, doing basically every Monday. Every Monday night for we do 2 scenarios, so it's 3-4 hours.
Got it. And
each time.
I mean, I wish I knew more about it, but it's like role play, or is it kind of
Not as much. So it is basically like D&D in board game form.
But every time you're someone different.
You can change characters, but
who's your character?
So right now, I just retired this guy. He's this big crab monster.
He's this big crab.
He's a good crab monster.
Okay.
The name's not going to make any sense, so I'm not going to tell you what the name is. It's an inside joke.
Crabby. Okay.
No. But yeah, so in world there's different races, and so there's these sentient crab creatures.
Okay.
And so he's part of that.
Right on.
Yeah. So
Sweet.
just think of it as D&D.
What's his name? Say it.
Tide Pod the Rod. So that's
Tide Pod.
There's a mix of
the
references
Rod.
in there. But
All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's. If
right.
you get it, you can think about it. But yeah, that's.
Don't think about it.
Don't.
I'm not even.
Okay,
going
don't
to
think
try
about
to
it.
Think about it.
Don't think about it. You asked.
I'm
this is
glad
what you
I
deserve.
asked. I feel like people got it. It was a good payoff. All right. So in your third word.
Games. Because here's the thing. Yes, all of those 3. I could have done all of those terms as games.
Yep.
But the reason I split it up is because I'm doing nothing else. I could have done games, music, but the reason I did games is because of how many game-related projects that I did this last year, which is a big goal for this year as well.
And you did quite a few.
Yeah. Various escape rooms, printable escape rooms, 2.5 video games. Obviously not full video games, but multi-month long projects in that sense, and then just other random things. So
cool.
Designing game. I should have said designing or creating. That would have
Just
been.
take 3 words and give you 6.
Yeah,
go for
it's
it.
4 and one's hyphenated.
Escape room.
Frosthaven's one word, by the way.
I mean,
Frosthaven's one word.
we'll let the audience decide.
All right, big man. What's your big 3 then?
My 3 words were musical, engagement, and travel.
Yeah.
Musical
Makes
because
sense.
spent a lot of time on the music. Engagement because that was such a huge part of my life.
Yep.
And then travel. I traveled a lot. Not outside of the country. I mean, a few trips to Mexico. Just a few.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I went a bunch of places, and kind of relating back to the engagement story you know so well. I tricked Leslie into thinking I was going on multiple work trips throughout the year. So I just had to make random reservations to go to Washington, D.C., to Boston, to Pittsburgh, Atlanta, and it was fun, but it was chaotic. A lot of travel, a lot of plane time.
And so a lot of the reason you were scoping out locations for the engagement.
No.
You were not scoping out.
No, I knew
that was my impression.
So I knew Chicago was always the place. What happened was I thought Chicago was going to happen much earlier. So I told her a long time ago, I'm starting to go on work trips. So, there's going to be one in Atlanta, and then there's going to be one in Chicago.
Yep.
But then our timeline never lined up. So every month I still had to go to a conference, quote unquote.
Okay.
So it just kept going and pushing. So she's like, where are you going this month? I'm like, whatever the cheapest flight is on Frontier, I'm going to go there for a weekend.
I see. So, not scoping out,
Not
but
scoping out.
it was part of the ploy.
Part of the ploy, make her think I was going these places so that she wouldn't suspect anything. I mean, when you're dating 9 years, you really gotta lay down the deception, or else.
Yeah, you gotta fully lie.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
it was a good story. It was a good travel. I did enjoy the places I got to see, and I actually do enjoy the solo travel aspect of it too. I know some people don't like that part, but I had a good time.
Mine's a little more tame. I mainly went to three places, not even all out of state, but they were trips / weekend things, whatever. So went on a church retreat for one weekend, camping trip, and then I did go to New Mexico also for another weekend. So that was
New Mexico.
getting out of Colorado. You know me, don't call me.
He was just trying to Spanish
world
a little
traveler.
bit.
yeah.
Then he realized it wasn't. Actually, Mexico.
No, at that point it's not even in my mind. But
Actually, I don't think I've ever been to New Mexico, so that's on my it's on my list. Gotta get
Yeah.
there sometime.
It's pretty cool. We passed through Las Vegas, New Mexico
Nope.
on the way.
yeah.
Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Oh,
There's
there's
a
a Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Yeah, we
Didn't know that.
right as we exited, we blew out a tire, and
Uh-huh.
that was basically like took off like a whole day of the trip. Put us behind.
Oh, this was with the
AGO
guys. That's right.
AGO bros. Shout out AGO bros.
Shout out to the AGOs.
But yeah, I did probably one of the best escape rooms I've ever done while we were there. So some good things.
Cool.
Yep. And
I guess I'll say, so yeah, I went to DC, went to Austin, Texas, and got to see Connor Price, who's one of our favorite artists.
Yeah.
of
Now,
last year.
like in hindsight, I'm like more jealous now.
Yeah.
I don't think
He's
I
coming
think
to
you
Denver.
offered maybe, but I don't
did.
think I could have made it
Yeah,
to that one.
You were busy. But he's coming to Denver, so maybe
Yes.
another trip. Connor Price is definitely popping off on the rap charts.
He is.
So yeah, if you don't know him, give him a listen.
Yep.
Obviously Chicago, Pittsburgh, Mexico. I did go to Vegas again with our friend Kochi. He's got a magnetic force to himself
Towards in Vegas.
towards Vegas, and he just
Yep.
drags me along with him. But it's always a good time. I got to go down to the coast in Alabama to Gulf Shores with a good group, and then obviously the big travel back to Colorado was
The big
kind of 2
move.
years in coming.
Yeah.
It was quite a move, quite a story. My future brother-in-law Angel was such a help to get me out here, so now we're back in Denver, and it's been great. I'm happy to be here. It's good to see old faces again.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I say this about like anything that happens. I think I've said this about the podcast and like restarting or ending. It's like I adapt to things so quickly when they happen. Like I'm used to you being back. It's like it
He's
never
never
happened.
left. Yeah.
So like the gratitude. I am very grateful that you're back. But it's like I gotta remember that. I was like, oh, he's just back.
Right.
He's here.
Got to take advantage of it before I'm
I
gone
gotta take
again.
advantage of you.
Oh. Anything that happens
Yeah, we can
at
now.
all. It's just silence. Look at the camera. Look back.
Pause for laughter. Oh wait,
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Looking back on this. You think we're gonna get? I mean, sidetrack. You think we're gonna get better at a video pod? I feel like we're already pretty good. Like when we
feel
started the
good.
podcast, we're like, I don't feel good about how I speak. I don't like it. I feel like right now we're doing pretty solid. Just saying.
Very few
Audience
places.
might disagree, but
You never know for sure. But in terms of like overall, there aren't too many places where I've like messed up words. Is one thing. I mean, maybe that is true.
maybe that's the beauty of live podcasts is they get to see your vulnerable side.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't like that.
It's this side.
Yeah, we actually switched back and forth many times to figure out.
Yeah,
what
what's our best side?
Yeah,
Yeah, because you got the side with the scar.
the scar. It's essential.
So we need that. We need that on. So that was the main deciding factor. So.
All right, well, let's continue on going through our podcasts from our list. We had a favorite.
Yep.
We had our movie podcast, episode 3.
Yep.
Did you have a favorite movie of 2024?
I did. It was not one that was in theaters, actually. I think I only saw.
That's okay. There's a lot of good movies on streamings these days.
Maybe 2 in theaters, but it was one that I was like actually really surprised with how much I enjoyed it. Kind of gives Die Hard vibes in terms of it's a Christmas movie.
Okay.
But it's like there's other things really going on as the focus. It's called Carry On.
Oh, on Netflix.
Have you seen that? Yes.
No, I haven't seen it, but it's with Taron Egerton, right? Or Matt Damon, or one of them.
I actually not Matt Damon. It's the Taron guy. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Okay.
But it also has Jason Bateman.
Yes,
which is why
that's who I was thinking
that was who
of.
pulled it in for me. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't know. Something about his voice is just like soothing to me.
So it's from what I saw in the trailer, it's a TSA agent.
Yes.
That's being put under pressure to let a bomb through or something like that. And
Pretty much.
he has a serial killer in his ear or something like that. So
Yes,
Okay.
That's a
That's
good
the hook.
overall summary. The way they execute like the pressure he's feeling and like the ways he tries to get out of it, and then like the planning from the bad guy's side.
Okay.
I feel like it's done really well.
All right.
It's a very satisfying way.
Yeah.
Because sometimes in movies it's like well, this protagonist is an idiot. They're not doing anything that somebody would do. But, for example, it's like, I'll give one like little taste of like
mini spoiler.
What's gonna happen. So he's sitting there, he's trying to gather himself, and then he tries calling the cops at first, and he can see him through the cameras. So he's like, okay, go and lock your phone up. Can't do that. And then, but he also has his like smartwatch on him. So he presses to send like a video message, or not a video message.
Audio.
It's a mistake.
Audio
It's a mistake.
message.
Video,
Dumb.
audio. What's the difference? You know what I'm saying? What's the difference? To send an audio message, just presses it, and he's like talking to the guy while he's doing that to drop some clues.
Okay.
And so it's like, okay, that's a smart thing to do.
Right. You're working through this problem with the protagonist.
He's like, okay, thank you for actually trying that. But then the bad guys are actually good at their job. So it's like, okay, well, obviously it's not going to work fully. And there it escalates. And I think it's done in a really, really good way.
Cool.
And I think Jason Bateman is just
Sam
pretty much great.
recommends The Carry On. I kind of want to watch it now. You got me excited about it. It was number 1 on Netflix, and me and Leslie were on Netflix a couple of nights ago, and number 1 was on. It was some spy movie, and so whenever you click number 1 on Netflix, like it's either going to be pretty good or it's going to be wow. They really just push that forward. So I was skeptical, but now I'll watch it. I'll put it on.
And it's like maybe I could understand why somebody would not like it that much. I was surprised.
Okay.
So
5 stars. For me, my favorite movie was an animated movie. It was The Wild Robots.
The Wild Robot.
Did you watch The Wild Robot? No. Did you have any inkling or any awareness to it?
Not even right now. I have no idea what's going on.
Never heard of it.
I don't think. No.
So
I
yeah,
don't think
it's a kids movie, which like 2023, Puss in Boots. Once again, we're back.
Yes.
There's that child in me that's just really enjoying these wholesome movies. Essentially, it's about a robot that is intended for like a futuristic place, but gets dropped and lost in the wilderness. So the robot has to adapt to living in the wilderness. That's kind of the summary. The small spoiler bit of information is that the robot finds a duckling, like a lonely duckling, that the robot's a she, has to raise. So she kind of becomes a mother robot to the duckling and kind of has to integrate. Anyways, interesting concept. What I really liked about the movie was that, one, it wasn't just, kids, make you laugh, but there was some dark moments. There was some really wholesome, like, family moments. And for me, like, the humor was actually like on point. Like, there's rare. I went with a group of friends who were like, "Oh, Alex, you're gonna drag us to another kids movie? Like, oh, this is gonna suck." But I'm like, I swear, guys, like, this is gonna be good. Not knowing for sure if it was gonna be good. Yeah. And there were moments like we were looking at each other like that was hilarious. Like, so we should watch it. We should rewatch it for sure.
Okay.
Great movie. Would recommend. Good time. The Wild Robot.
Well, we might as well head into some TV shows.
Oh, we're in the entertainment.
Alley.
TV shows, yeah. You're
I
asking
feel
me
like
my
there's
favorite TV
for
show?
sure, yeah,
I don't
some
know.
standouts.
We'll
see if we agree.
There's a few TV shows that I like. If you're watching on video, you can already guess what TV show I like. But even if you're listening and you've talked to me in the past couple months or even the year, you'll know what my favorite TV show is. And Sam very much loves this show too.
No.
Sam, what's my favorite TV show right now? Oh, no. Too much power. No.
He put it on the closest button to me, so.
I wish I had this sound effect. I'll just sing it.
Your podcast has been taken down by Bluey for copyright infringement.
Bluey! Yeah, I love Bluey.
All right.
I love Bluey. Bluey is definitely... was it in 2023? Did I talk about it once in our podcast? I can't remember.
It feels like such a big part of your life this entire time that I think it had to be.
It might have been.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay. Yeah.
Never a Bluey episode, but
it was. Yeah. It's an episode. At least in one of them, I know I started joking about it.
Yeah.
I got Sam for his birthday a nice little Bluey shirt. Right now, I'm wearing a bright pink sweater with Muffin, who's Bluey's cousin.
Yep.
The crazy cousin. Yep. You know who Muffin is. You've been watching. No, you just know. No, it's okay.
No, because he quizzed me, and my sister got you some Bluey apparel.
Yes, your sister got me
for
matching
Christmas / your
Bluey
birthday.
pajamas, which
Yeah.
I use a lot, especially in Colorado now that I've learned it's cold. So I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I will say other TV shows, some more adult TV shows that I've enjoyed. I actually felt like 2024 was a good year for TV shows, not a great year for movies.
I would agree.
Just
with
in
that.
general.
Yeah.
So my favorite TV shows, Abbott Elementary. I've been watching that a lot. High Potential, which is like a crime show. I started watching The Simpsons and Bob's Burgers, just as like kind of comfort shows.
Those
Just occasionally, like
yeah.
some episodes are just like
Yeah.
comforting for me to watch. And then recently, this is kind of getting into like 2025, but Paradise is a show on Hulu. I think you would enjoy it. It's about a Secret Service member protecting the president in like the future society. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
Okay.
How about you? TV shows?
Yep.
I'm not gonna get any of them.
Pretty safe options.
Okay.
For me, Squid Game season 2.
Yeah, Squid Game.
I was very surprised. I thought it was just a money move. It was gonna be trash.
Yep.
It was really good. Only issue is that it's not the end. They kind of made it seem like it was gonna be the end, and then it's gonna be one more season. So that was a little disappointing, but I still think pretty solid. Only one major flaw with it, in my opinion. And then Arcane season 2.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like it as much as season 1 personally. But I'm probably in the minority there. I'm just gonna
I
throw that
agree
out
with
there,
you.
though.
I like season 1 better too, but season 2 definitely covered or tried to
There's
cover.
a lot. I mean, a
whole
lot of stuff. Yeah, happened.
A lot happened. So yeah, decent shows.
The last one I was actually surprised that I just remembered is The Recruit, season 2.
I don't even know the first one.
It's season 1. Yeah, it's not like, I think it was maybe charting on Netflix at some point. Basically, this CIA lawyer. I don't know what their definitions of anything are in there, but it's like he's kind of like doing agent-y stuff, but he just gets thrown into everything.
Okay.
And it's just fun seeing him just going completely blind to like all these random situations, and things continue to escalate. Season 2, kind of annoyed by some things that happened near the end, but that's fine. Not everything can be perfect. Still pretty good for overall.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Big news in our government episode. I mean, we have a new president again. Trump won the election. And we saw Hamilton.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. How are your feelings? You feeling happy? No. Yeah, Hamilton. That's the true highlight.
Yes.
I've been wanting to see Hamilton live for a long time.
Yep.
My family's talked about going multiple times, and they're like, "We're doing it this time." When it was back in Denver, not original cast, but we're like gonna do it, and then the plans fell through somehow. And then, so finally got a chance to see it.
It was good. We sat as far back as we possibly could in the Buell Theater. We had the last seats, like in the handicap row. Like we are just like, we're here, and it was still a great time. Like I still enjoyed it. You could still hear, you could still see. I wish I had some binoculars sometimes, but overall, like bucket list item for me. I'd say we got to see it. So. It was nice.
Yeah, really the only thing it took away from was like more intimate facial expressions.
Yeah.
Like, sound-wise was great, and like you could see all the moves. Cause
my eyesight's starting to fade with all the screens, so I'm just like, they're just blobs that I think I can visualize based off how they sound, what their faces are making, but you can't.
It's like, that's probably Aaron Burr down there. Based on what's been going on. Yeah, no, it was really good, though. I really enjoyed that.
Good.
Made me want to go to more live musicals, because I really haven't done others besides like High School Musicals. Not High School Musical.
The musical,
High School
the series.
Musical. Yeah, exactly. So.
No, yeah, we'll have to go sometime.
Yeah.
What else? Let's keep going. We're on a
all
roll.
right, yeah, we're gonna have
we got
our
a lot to
transitions
cover
aren't
today.
gonna be quite as smooth for all of them because
we're
not
rusty.
Not
That's
all the
why.
connections
Not
are there.
because we have 50 line items that we said we'd write down.
Yeah,
so
and then
it's fine.
Well, also I'm not highlighting as I go.
Yeah,
Alex is highlighting.
I'm crossing stuff off. Sam's just like going.
So
with the flow.
I have
Do you want
to
me to lead this?
navigate through.
I can take.
No,
charge.
man, it's all right. Hey, man, just say something crazy right now. Hot take. Go. From the hot take episode.
My hot take is that
Is it
the
about
solar
Trump?
eclipse, people watching the solar eclipse is incredibly cringy.
I would agree. If you're looking directly at it, that's very.
Well, not just that. I've never. I mean,
Yeah.
I love space. I love like all stuff relating to that, but I've never been a hype man for the solar eclipse. So I guess my hot take is that the solar eclipse is overrated. I just don't get it.
I actually agree with you for once.
Excellent.
I think I agree with it. I was telling Brandon from Frosthaven.
Uh-huh.
You guys know Brandon. Good old Brandon. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
he
we
was
do.
like did you watch the eclipse? I was like it's just like what's the point of it?
Right.
You know? It's like
Unless you're in the, the totality, like the main section.
But then, yeah, you want to get stuck going up north and
With a bunch
getting
of people.
screwed.
Oh, and
in
then also
6-hour
maybe
traffic.
there being cloud cover and not even mattering.
Yeah, and you wasted all that time.
Yeah.
And everybody's trying to get back, and like,
So I've never seen totality. I've never seen the complete solar eclipse. So maybe I'm missing out. But like, putting on the glasses and seeing a dot and then a little dot inside that dot, I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. But I'm glad I got like 20 minutes off of work because everyone went downstairs and put on their
you're
glasses.
just chilling.
There's got to be a better way for us to do this. Why do we have like those paper glasses?
Still the paper. I feel like, well,
It's got to be cheap.
on
I
the other
guess.
hand, yeah, I was gonna say the cheapness because it's like, oh, these are cheap. Why are we doing this? But they're cheap, so
Yeah.
they're accessible, widely accessible. So
I think we should just have like a giant sheets, like those sheets of papers inside the glasses. Just a massive one that we just put over like a giant polarizer.
okay,
And we
yeah.
all just like, I feel like that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, you can try
Just
it.
huddle a bunch
next
of people.
time.
I'll try it next time.
Yeah, I'll go to
My
that.
own money. I'll do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What's your hot take? Hot take.
I was trying to think of.
2024.
I don't know. I was like, I could just say a lot of things are overrated. It's like that's too Sam.
That's overrated.
That's like 2023 me. Yeah, that's overrated. But I was thinking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
Upset some
Oh,
people.
yeah, you did upset some
They're not
people
going to
for
stay together.
Sure.
They're not going to stay together.
You're saying it right here, right now.
I'm saying it right here,
Taylor
right now.
Swift and Travis Kelce are not going to make it Endgame.
They're not going to make it Avengers Endgame.
Not gonna.
They're not collecting.
What
all
is
the-
what is that like? Married? Like they're not getting married? That's the line or engagement? Where are you drawing the
I mean,
relationship timeline?
That's possible. They're for sure. Oh man, I'm being a Debbie Downer right now. If they do, they're gonna probably get divorced. It's just a thing with celebrity relationships. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like how long. I mean, I hope that it's like the 1 in 100 that actually makes it work.
Okay, so
Or maybe it's
you
not.
hope that they make it, but
I just don't think.
for some reason you don't think they're gonna make it because you are so good at knowing when relationships.
Well, she needs another album at some point.
This is a financial decision.
Yeah, this is a business engagement.
So do you think that Taylor uses like she's done that in the past for sure?
Well,
Subconsciously.
I think a lot of people do a lot of dumb things
Mm.
for relationships, and she maybe knows in the back of her mind that
This ain't gonna work,
It
but
could
she's too
lead
far. She's
to
too
that.
far in.
yeah, she's like, okay, let's milk this a little bit more.
Okay.
Listen, at least for one song.
I mean,
right? At least for
Can
one
you
song
imagine
ever.
how good that Travis Kelce breakup song is gonna be?
Oh man,
It's
yeah,
gonna be amazing.
a bunch of football references in there.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe we should be pro Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce breaking up. Like we should try and make this happen because we love her music so much.
yeah, maybe they'll see this podcast. Or wait, because
They'll come after us. I'm sorry.
we love her music. Yes,
We want you to be happy, but we also want to be happy.
Yeah, I want to be realistic. Anyway,
All right, hot take.
throwing
They ain't
that
gonna
out,
make it.
throwing that out there, just like a football.
Speaking of sports,
You know what I mean?
see, I'm gonna try and make the transitions more solid.
Let's.
My big sports update is that my hockey team over the summer won the beer league championship tournament.
That's pretty cool, to
Thank
be
you.
honest. Like
It was awesome. It was the first time
yeah.
I've ever won hockey tournaments after my high school days. So
Yeah,
I played in a bunch of them.
Mhm.
It was amazing. It was
because
great.
that's kind of the thing. Weirdly, in a way, those kind of leagues are almost more fun to win
Yeah.
because there's not pressure, but then you also win.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it's only the pressure you put on yourself. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I want in high school. I won a guys like volleyball tournament, and it was that was one of the greatest things.
Right. Yeah.
Greatest feelings.
Yeah.
And it's this doesn't matter at all. But we were kind of the underdogs in a way.
You
we,
take it.
We pulled up.
The
and
fun
we
thing
won.
about our tournament is that it was a beer league, a legit beer league. So we had a bunch of sponsors from bars and breweries sponsor our team. So each team got a pick, and I was the goalie, so I got to be the team captain. So it was a draft. So not only did I get to pick what brewery we represented,
Okay.
I picked Yellow Hammer, which was my favorite brewery in Huntsville. I got to pick my team and be the strategic person. Okay, we're gonna get in this guy this round, this guy, and so the pride you have both in picking your team and then winning the whole thing.
And it's a team
I felt
effort.
pretty good about myself,
kind of
and I was the goalie.
Yeah,
Played pretty
right.
good. They
good.
actually recorded the games, which I never had done before. Even when I was playing at really high high school level, they recorded it and did live announcing, so you can watch my games. And it was
the proof
really
is there.
fun. So
Actually,
that was my sports update from the year. Did you get to do any sporting around?
Oh man, dude.
No, just a bunch of games on a
Some
table.
Rocket
inside.
League. No, whatever, dude.
Rocket League.
Listen,
esports.
I'm healthy. I'm
EA
still athletic.
Sports.
I got the metabolism still.
Yeah, you do.
I should be doing more sports, but it's usually just lower on my priority.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't touched a soccer ball in a while, Alex. It's bad. I legit. I don't know if I've done any sports this whole year.
You might not have. You didn't tell me about any.
I don't think I did any. Definitely not. It might have been one-offs.
Well, maybe we'll do
once in a
something
while,
here.
but,
Just one off ultimate frisbee game or soccer game pickup.
Got to get some pickleball. We got the
The
chicken and pickle.
pick. Oh, chicken pickle.
Chicken and pickle.
I like the chicken.
It's coming
pick.
near my head. Chicken pick. They should have.
Mhm.
But they might have
You might have
misinterpreted that for. I'm gonna go to your pick up some chicks.
I've actually, never put the chicken pick. That doesn't sound right.
Pick-
Chicken and pickle.
Yeah.
But everyone
so
will
let's
call
say
it the chicken pick. 100%.
I don't know about that. Yeah, we'll see. But that's
think
coming.
so.
I'm excited for that actually.
Okay, sweet. So we got pickleball coming up.
Another 2025 endeavor. So another little sheet there.
I tried to give up sugar in 2024. I tried really not natural sugar. So natural sugar's fine, but any artificial sugar.
That's still really hard.
I made it till March or April. Yeah, we got some fruit snacks here in the studio today. I made it to April, which is pretty good. Not having any artificial sugar, no desserts, no sweets. But then one day at work, I was just tired and I crashed and I was like, I need it. I need some Smarties. I need some Girl Scout cookies. I don't know what I think it was the Girl Scout cookies I got.
I was going to say Smarties.
We're in that time of year right now where I'm eating half a box of Thin Mints a day.
A day.
Not lying.
A day.
A day.
Legitimately.
Half a box. A roll of Thin Mints.
You got a
I
problem.
love Thin Mints.
You got a problem.
So
Number one, because
much.
Samoas are better, but also
lies.
So-
That is not true.
hot take. That's not even a
Thin
hot
Mints
take.
are the best.
I think
that is not.
if you tallied.
That is
the-
something I would die on. Die on?
you,
I'd die on a
you're
hill
going
of
to
Thin
die,
Mints.
yes, because of how
'Cause
many you're having.
I ate so many.
Yeah,
It was
that's actually
breakfast
crazy.
and lunch for me today. It was not good. Yeah. I love that.
Wow. Okay.
You can't say no. You can't say no when you're walking out of King Super. What are you going to say no? You say no? To the girls trying to say, how do you say no?
Listen,
do you just
all of our
ignore them?
years of training at CU Boulder, ignoring people trying to sell us
ignoring,
things,
annoying college
get us
students.
to sign
Dude,
things.
these girls were like,
the Girl Scouts came on campus too.
What?
And
I didn't say no to them
campus.
either. Every time I
okay.
see a Girl Scout, I'm buying a box of Thin Mints, and that's just I can't not do it.
At least it's for kind of a good cause
Yeah,
in some ways,
in some ways,
but
she can
there's
get
a
a
trade-off
bike.
there.
She can get a bike
She can get a bike.
from the
Yeah.
winning.
She can
selling
learn
the most
that
cookies.
selling in business.
But if I just buy from every Girl Scout, maybe I'm just not helping anybody.
yeah,
Maybe I just need to buy 100 boxes.
only wait,
person.
you have to only buy it from the deserving ones. You actually have to make them.
performance.
You can't
test or
just give it to
something.
them.
All right, I'll get a box
can't
of
just
Thin
give it
Mints
to them.
under these conditions.
Yeah.
You beat your
me-
sister in a foot race right now.
That works too.
I mean, yeah.
Whatever
what do you have
conditions
in
you
mind?
want. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, I was just saying, like, hey, give me like a pitch on why I should buy this right now.
Yeah, let them use their entrepreneurial skills.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, like
understand.
actually sell me on this.
Sell me.
We actually have to sell.
Make them
something.
think I don't really, really, really badly want them.
You need to buy this pencil. That's how it.
Make
Or
me
the common example. Make me buy this pencil. You need this pencil to sign the form to buy the Thin Mints. That's why you need the pencil.
That's good.
Anyway.
Any diet trends for you? No.
Not for me. Our refrigerator is currently filled with a bunch of stuff for the Whole30 diet that my sister's doing.
Whole30 diets.
So
HWHOLE. Whole.
Yes.
Okay.
HOLE.
Whole diets.
Foods that have holes in them.
That is a great diet idea.
That is a bad.
Donuts is the
You
only thing that comes up. Pretzels.
Yeah.
What else has holes in them?
If you got trypophobia, you cannot do the whole.
There's
30
so many
diet.
other foods, but I can't think of any other foods that have holes in
I was
them.
trying to-
Come on, Sam. On the pressure.
Well, we thinking. I don't know. I'm thinking like
foods.
it's not fully holes, but like strawberries. You see how they have like these indents
those
on
are
them?
Indents completely different than a hole. I've had this argument many times, Sam.
Oh my
Sam,
gosh!
question,
I'm not
question. Question. How many? How many holes does a shirt have?
Yeah, Okay, stop.
I broke them.
No,
He's hurting.
I've heard all of these arguments.
Oh, you've heard this one before.
I've
I've
heard
never
everything.
heard this one before. How
No,
many?
I
How many
don't
are you
know.
saying there?
I don't know, and nobody will ever know.
How many holes are in a shirt? Answer me the question. Just a number.
It's
Oh,
not
man.
just a number.
It's not. Just,
It's way more than that.
it's so much more
Listen,
than that.
Okay,
It's
let's
two.
think
Answer's
of.
two.
Wow, that's crazy. It's two.
I'm not even
So
gonna
the armhole and the neck hole. Just one hole across.
I thought you heard every answer.
It's one.
You haven't
I
heard
thought
you haven't heard two.
I thought of every possibility. There's more. Okay, I understand that. I mean, there's the first human answer that you would think of is 4.
Four. Yeah. Right.
That's what you would think of it. But then you sit there and you think for a second. You're like, what is going on? But the thing is, no, if you dig a hole in the ground, it doesn't have to go all the way through.
Right. I know.
To be a
I know
hole.
that argument. Yeah. Exactly.
And so their water bottle argument, I think,
There's
is
one
you're
hole.
crying.
I love that you can
He's
see when
crying.
I'm crying.
He's happy to be back
So good.
for the pod.
All right.
Okay.
Whole food diet. It's going well.
Whole
for her?
30 diet.
Whole30
It's going well from what I know. Apparently, it's just all the healthy stuff you would expect. Cut out processed foods and sugar. You can have fruits, veggies, cutting out grains, and things like that.
Cool.
But I'm off limits. I'm banned from those foods in our refrigerator. So
Okay.
that's been my diet restriction. Is the
anything
anti-Whole 30.
anti-whole. No holes
My
allowed.
sister's like, yeah, do not have any of this. I made my dad, those fruit puree squeeze pouches.
Yes.
Actually amazing.
Yeah, I do like those.
Got some from Costco. I was like, this is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then she banned me from having more of those. And then we got another box of them, and I went through all of them.
You're a
very
grown man,
quickly.
Sam. You can eat whatever you want.
I can. Well, yeah, but I'm not just gonna ruin my sister's day by
Yeah, that's right.
causing her to stumble. It's like, I'm out
That's
of
right.
fruit pouches. Like, I gotta have some Welch's fruit
That's good.
snacks now.
This episode of My Pod Shuffle is brought to you by Welch's Mixed Fruit Family Farm Owned Fruit Snacks. And
Lay's,
Lay's.
salt and vinegar.
I do like salt and vinegar chips. I'm a big fan. I'm glad you like it too. Sorry for that ASMR right there. Okay, moving on. As you know, 2024 was a big reading year for me. It was the first year that I started reading books.
Ever.
Period. Really, actually, like, in
Congratulations,
a while.
man.
Like, I didn't read at all for many times. And in high school, I very little enjoyed reading. So I read, I think I read 50-something books last year.
Crazy.
And had some really
One a
good
week.
ones. I'll just say my favorites. I really enjoyed Counts of Monte Cristo, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, Project Hail Mary, And I read Harry Potter in Spanish.
Harry Potter in
The
Spanish.
first book in Spanish. Just kind of working on my Spanish. So
I see.
yeah, I mean, so many other books. Follow me on Goodreads if you're interested.
Nice.
Plug for
Gotta
myself.
shout
Got to
out.
do it. But yeah, I mean, I fell in love with reading, and now I'm still reading a lot this year and trying to keep that habit up. So yeah, it's been
I feel
great.
like, yeah, it seems like that was your My Pod Shuffle for the year then.
It
one
wasn't
book,
supposed
one book
to
per
be.
week.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be. Like that was not
Yeah.
on my radar. But then Leslie was just like, "Hey, you want to do a reading challenge with me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then I got competitive.
I was gonna say, if there's one thing that can
Uh-huh.
get you to do it,
Yep.
which that sometimes works for me, but then sometimes I just don't care enough, and it's like if you can get me to do it, I'm in there.
Yeah. But now the habit's set in,
But,
and I can't stop.
That's good. That's a good problem.
And
to
you
have.
showed me Brandon Sanderson. I read one of his books.
Yes.
I wish I could read more, and I will read more in the future.
Yes.
I read Tress
of
in the Emerald Sea.
Yes.
Very good. Very, very simple, but very,
Very good.
very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
How about you? Did you have any favorite books of 2024?
Yes. More Brandon Sanderson. So
course.
he has a different young adult series, the Skyward series. So more sci-fi, actually set in like so set from Earth, but like way far in the future after humans have migrated off of Earth,
Okay.
deep into space, found a bunch of different like alien races.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the humans still from like, that's the main protagonist.
Okay.
And like humans are being oppressed by other like space races. And then it's kind of her journey of being a space pilot. And it's pretty good. Like he always has like huge twists. Like doesn't even matter if it's like young adult stuff. Like massive twists by the end of each book. So currently, or at least last year, so I read the second one, Starsight, where things escalated a little bit more, crazy stuff happened, and then I'm currently reading the third book. So I didn't just read one book last year, but that was like one of the more notable ones.
Cool.
Next one I recommend though, from Brandon Sanderson, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter.
I've heard good things about that one.
Actually, reminded me of our Jubentia experience in some ways.
Let's jump ship to that real quick.
Jubentia script murder.
Yep.
It's the interpretation from China. Very popular activity. More locations than McDonald's on Earth. More players than D&D in the world. Just in China.
Yep.
So it's massive. Just now starting to get over. So we played that.
Yeah, we played it last
Yesterday.
night. And it was awesome. It was a 5-player game. We all got to get into our role playing, like character, like murder mystery
So
on
good.
steroids. 4
Legit.
hours of us getting deep into our characters, where I was completely immersed.
Yeah.
I know you were. You almost like hurt me.
I almost
He
yeah.
got us into character so much that I thought he was gonna.
Our guys were just happened to be pitted against each other.
Yeah, yep.
And it was
It worked
pretty
out
funny.
pretty good. But yeah, it was emotional. It was cool. And then the mystery part of it was solid. Like for
Yeah.
you
It
who
clicks.
works on that constantly. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when it clicks at the end, but it's like not too easy, that's when you know. It's perfect.
Yeah. So recommend.
So good.
I don't know how we got to Jubentia. You said. Your book,
It reminded me. So
Yep.
there's reasons why it reminds me of that. In a lot of ways it doesn't really, but in terms of like the emotional like story that I really, really like, it's like I know I'm just gonna be thinking about this whenever I'm like, what are like stories that I want to shoot for, or, like reread. Those are 2 examples. So Yumi and the Nightmare Painter.
Gotcha.
Read that. Pretty. You can just pick it up. Not a trilogy or anything. Just a standalone. So
Cool.
it's very good.
All right. Transition. I'm just gonna say the word transition, and now we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna do a few quick fire topics.
Quick fire.
First one, very simple. Yes or no question. Did AI make the world a better place in 2024? Or a worse place? I guess it's a better or worse question.
You're making me a better worse. Because because you had a take where it's like obviously there's the negative stuff. I'm gonna say
net effect of AI.
It's so hard to. I'm gonna say net negative, but I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah. No, it's fair.
It's really hard to say.
I have no idea either. If I had to say net positive, net negative, I'm gonna say net positive. I think I'll lean on the positive side.
I'm gonna give you some crazy stats. Just quick
Sure.
fire crazy
Yeah, go
stat
for it.
for why a lot of things are positive and just like insane in terms of science. So there is a video I watched from a YouTube channel, Veritasium. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
Veritasium.
he did a video where AI basically solved all known protein structures that exist in our natural environment. Which like you can just say that and it's like I don't really know what that means.
Couldn't tell you.
But basically beforehand, for like 60 years, they had done it by hand, and they found like 150,000 of them.
Yeah.
And now, just in a single year, in 2020, it generated like the rest of the 200 million of them, which would have taken literally like decades and decades.
Wow.
The way that they're currently doing it. So 150,000 to 200 million, all known natural protein structures, which means we can study like diseases and like create vaccines more easily and like actually generate those things like from scratch. And then in addition to that, creating completely new ones in a similar way that AI generates like art. Like it's weirdly a similar process to how it generates new protein structures that can do new things. For example, let's see, like new materials, just creating new materials that can be used for like computer parts or in different things that are like stronger. Creating, there's this one where they can create human compatible antibodies for like if you get bit by a snake. Because before the process was like really long and involved, but now they could just do it very quickly, distribute that to everybody for way less cost. So I don't know. There's actually an insane amount of like scientific progress that has happened that will lead to hopefully a lot of like health things and also environmental and like for like greenhouse gases and things like that. Yeah. I don't know. So whole tangent for that.
So you said you felt net negative, but you said positive. I said net positive, but I'll say some of the negative things. Yeah. Or at least what I hear is like jobs, like job security and losing jobs. Yeah. The artists, maybe losing some copyright issues or things like that. And then there's a third thing that I forgot, but there's
there's so many. I mean, impersonating people with. Yeah. I mean, we have so many hours of our voices online that if you train,
this could not be us. It's possible.
If you train AI on it, but I don't like thinking about that, and I'm never gonna do it myself probably. But you can get the training on all that, and you can impersonate somebody. You could fake phone calls and scam people. You can create, and also like with videos now getting better that are AI generated, create videos that people are gonna think are real. Lots of different fake things. And it's a lot of things like that's what happens with new, more powerful tools. You can use them in more powerful good ways and more powerful horrible ways. Yeah. And like that's how it's gonna be. So
TBD.
There's a lot of stuff.
Scary times.
It's hard to weigh out. But okay. We're done. We're done with AI. Not with the podcast.
No.
We could be though.
We're close.
AI are in video games.
They are.
I played a decent amount of video games this
you
year.
Did. Big Fortnite guy.
You say that. No, you say that. See?
He is though.
I know, Alex.
That's how I typecast you.
You want to bring? Yeah, you're the bluey guy. I'm the Fortnite guy. We're both kids.
A match made in heaven.
We're both little babies. But yeah, Alex gave me some V-Bucks.
Is that what they call them?
For Christmas. Yeah, V-Bucks.
V-Bucks.
Virtual bucks.
Virtual bucks. Okay.
I think.
I believe you. Sounds right.
I would guess. I actually don't know. But I actually did not play that much Fortnite this year. I had some really good games that I did play, though. Ones I'm going to list off. Yeah. Hades 2.
Okay.
Obviously, there's a Hades 1. I like the second one. It's great. Great story. Honestly, like the Greek mythology. I was thinking about that. Like, they are pretty faithful to some of that. I don't know if, like, you are against the mythology part, even with the Greek background, or I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but...
Next
it's interesting.
Episode.
Next podcast.
I don't know. I love watch like some God of War playthroughs, and there's like some
Okay.
stuff in that. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I'd have to look into Hades. I don't know.
I think it's really cool lore
Okay.
and stuff. Personally, great voice acting, good gameplay. Balatro. I'm not a gambler, as you know, but it's
that's that card game you showed me.
that's that card game where
Yeah.
you're making
Gambling.
poker hands. There's
Yep.
no gambling at all.
V-Bucks gambling.
But
Virtual bucks.
I would never. That's like the most degenerate form of gambling. Gambling virtual currency.
Not real money.
Yeah, I would never. But amazing game.
Okay.
Very surprising how much I liked it.
Yep.
Phasmophobia with the boys. Got to get that co-op horror experience.
Whole title.
Yeah.
Phasmophobia with the boys.
With the boys.
Okay.
Great game.
Okay. Yeah.
I know you kind of hate horror games.
I
little bit,
don't
but
hate
maybe
them.
I'll get you to play
I'm just
it at
really
some point.
bad at playing them.
Oh,
Like,
okay. I
I'll
see.
play, and then the second it scares her, I can't.
Yeah, just drop the.
I'm gonna avoid it.
Drop the mouse.
If I don't
Okay.
have to play, I'm gonna get out of there. But I do like watching other people play horror games.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Disco Elysium, murder mystery detective game.
Okay.
Set kind of in a dystopian-ish future, like military rule.
Mhm.
I don't know, kind of.
Okay.
But do not play the game if you are sensitive to
lights.
joking about
Oh.
every topic. They touch
joke
everything. They joke about everything, but like in a very aware way.
Okay.
So it's like
Interesting.
they'll explore politics, and they obviously know what they're talking about, but they make fun of everything.
Is this
And
like
it's
a
hilarious.
continued game, or is it like a one pathway game? That
There's
just touches
you can make any choices. So you're investigating a murder is like the overall,
Yeah.
and it's like semi-futuristic, rundown,
Okay.
dystopian
Got it.
future, and
Wow.
you're just like this. You can do drugs, you
Mhm.
can get drunk on alcohol, and those help you in some ways and hurt you in other ways. But you're this psychotic detective guy who's both brilliant and dumb at the same time. But he's so dumb sometimes that the dialogue options that he has are some of the hardest I've ever laughed, and it's so funny. But you have to be okay.
You had to be there, and you got to be okay.
You
with
have to
it.
be okay with any topic, because there is darker stuff
Okay.
that happens. There's a lot of language.
What was this called again? Trivia.
Disco Elysium.
Disco Elysium.
Disco Elysium.
Sam recommends. Okay.
And final one, Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
A more
I've heard of that.
horror
one.
action game remake.
Oh,
I haven't played the original, but really, really solid.
really fun.
It's up there for the Resident Evil
Okay.
franchise for
Cool.
sure.
I played one game all of 2024.
Yes.
And the only
you
reason
go.
I played this game is because Leslie really likes this game.
Okay. Okay.
Do you know what it is?
Well, I looked at your script.
Oh,
I can pretend.
surprise!
Restart. Cut out.
No.
What's the game, Alex?
Overcooked?
Overcooked.
Could you have guessed it?
We're cooked.
Yeah. Let him cook. It's a cooking game
Yeah.
where you cook stuff.
Yeah.
She loves
It's
it.
a good one.
And I try not to get upset, and I try to have fun. And
I can
there are
see
moments.
that.
There are moments
can
I
see
enjoy
that.
it.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was not a gaming year for me, but it definitely was for you, as your words for the year. So
Yeah.
maybe
Honestly,
we'll have to game some more.
I
now
don't
that I'm
think
back.
too much. Like, I think usually, like, when I play games that can sink time into, like Fortnite,
Yeah.
I usually play with other people.
Right.
And then the other ones that I listed are like
More directional.
you're strategizing of like probabilities in Balatro, and like you're actually thinking about statistics.
Yep.
Disco Elysium, you're thinking about a lot of stuff. There's like, I mean, the themes of morality and just anything you can think of ever.
Yeah, I definitely am interested.
Like
check
deeper
one out.
stories and emotional stories and things like that. So I think usually I have pretty good taste in video games and a
Yeah.
good balance. Even though it's like more than compared to you, it's less than compared to some people
others,
just
yeah.
sinking in, endless
yeah,
amount of
endless hours
time.
of days. I know.
But yeah, no judgment, obviously.
Yeah,
Because
you've been there.
there's always a balance with everything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool, dude. We are running a little longer on time, so I'm gonna quick hit some of them. First off, what were you for Halloween?
So actually, it was from a video game that I did not mention.
Okay.
So Escape the Backrooms.
Okay.
Have you heard of the Backrooms in general?
No,
Not the
no, I haven't.
bathrooms.
The
back.
bathrooms.
The back. Yeah, can you check in the back? See if you.
Is this like
Anyway.
a horror game?
It's a horror game, another co-op horror game, and basically there's these guys. I think
I feel like I've
canonically,
seen, like, pictures of these
they're
guys.
called hazmat idiots.
Oh.
It's these guys in yellow hazmat suits
Right.
and gas masks,
Okay.
and they're just like running around like idiots, I guess, and dying all the time. So, look up hazmat idiot from Escape the Backrooms, and then.
Okay.
We did a group costume with the group that we play that game with. Except my sister also tagged on because one of us could not make it, and so we ended up being not all of us plus my sister, which is fine because I tagged on to her costume last year, which I'm not going to tell you what it was because it's embarrassing.
All right.
Not really. I was a Dalmatian, and she was
Aw.
Cruella.
That's
Cruella de Vil.
adorable.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Yep.
I was both the past 2 years. Really,
It's fine. My computer just died.
rest in peace.
We're
Sam
going
Smith.
in
That's
blind,
a sign that
folks.
we are. Well, we're closing
We're
it up
winding down.
anyway, so
Closing shop.
we're close.
Good.
I was for the past kind of 3-4 years. I've
Yeah.
been choosing a favorite character of my favorite TV show at the time.
Yeah.
So 3 years ago it was Only Murders in the Building. I was
Nice.
From there. 2 years ago it was The Bear. So I was the cousin from Bear.
Nice.
And then last year it was Ted Lasso. So I was Roy Kent from Ted Lasso. So
Nice.
this year Halloween's coming again. It'll be our first married year. So me and Leslie will probably do some sort of couples costume.
Yeah.
So based off of what did I
Yeah.
say? My favorite TV shows. Bluey.
Abbott Elementary.
Nah.
Blue-
We'll be
You'll
banded in
do
chili
something.
for sure.
There you go.
Something like that. But yeah, lots to look forward to this year. Before we end up our recap of 2024, I feel like at the end of the last year, we said the music was a big thing. We might talk about it in the future in another episode, but let's just do a quick couple minutes on what that journey was like for us.
Yeah. So originally we were like, okay, this music is going to be the thing that
This is gonna
replaces
be
my
the
pod
thing.
shuffle.
It was not.
This is our weekly
Sorry.
meeting that we're going to work on it every week.
Yeah.
And we maybe started off like that for
Yeah.
a few weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and it quickly dropped off a little bit.
Yep.
But we learned a lot about music production,
Yeah.
recording
Definitely.
vocals, instruments, and all that kind of stuff.
All the good, the bad, and the ugly that goes with it.
Yeah.
And the time sync. I mean, we still collaborated a lot. We sent, music back and
Yep.
forth,
Mm-hmm.
but there definitely wasn't that same rhythm of the podcast every week, which was such a staple of the 2023. And 2024 for me was a little more. I mean, I was traveling. There was all those things in life changing, and you just graduated, and so you were still kind of trying to figure out what your career was going to look like, and we still are kind of in that same place, but not having the podcast was definitely it opened free time, but then we filled it with all sorts of other things, like we
Other
said.
things, yeah. But in terms of actually getting music released, I released one single.
Yep.
Alex released a 5-song EP.
Yes, sir.
Um,
You did do it first, so you did.
I did
you
it first.
Win that.
So that's all that matters.
So I felt. I felt bad. I was like, well, if you did it first, I'm just gonna.
You know what
release
the
5.
perfect analogy for this is?
Mm.
The Soviet Union is me,
Oh, that's not where I thought.
and
this
you
was
are
going.
the United States.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, because I was
think.
first out to space in
Oh,
general,
and then I just.
and then
populated.
U.S. was first to the moon.
Okay.
Is that correct? The
That is
Soviets
correct.
were the first.
That is
They were the
correct.
first to launch.
Good
So
space
that was
history.
me. I launched the one.
And then I.
And then
made it to the
you
moon.
hit it home with the full EP, because that was also my goal was the 4-song EP.
Yep.
Which is still coming. One of them is done. It's out of my hands.
Excellent. More songs coming from Sam.
And then another collab song with Surrender the Tides, a.k.a. Ryan.
Super cool.
Also very close to being done. We're going to record our last harmonies tomorrow,
Oh, cool. Nice.
and then we're going to be done with that, and just some tweaks and mixing. And then two more that, still working on that are getting there. So
Sweet.
it's going to be 5 eventually.
Yeah, no, you'll get there. And
gonna
and
be
for
fun
me, I mean,
eventually.
I kind of was slow at the first, and then
Mhm.
at certain point, kind of 3/4 through the year, I'm like, okay, I'm this was my goal, and you know how
Yeah.
I am. Like, if there's a year to get it done, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get it done that year, and I
Mhm.
don't care what the quality necessarily is. So made it work. I
Yeah.
grinded really hard the last month and a half.
Yep.
And I'm pretty burnt out from it. Like
Okay.
the perfectionist in
Interesting.
me, like all those different things. Like it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. I learned a lot, especially in the music production world. So it was a lot. So I kind of taken a break from the production side,
Yep.
but I've been writing a lot more, just on my guitar, and like that's where I find the real joy. Like the production for me
agree.
is
I agree.
is more so just
It's a
get
thing
it
to
out
share.
there, good thing to share and get it out there. But I really do enjoy like creating the music and creating new melodies on the guitar, and that's where I find the most joy. So trying to lean into that,
Yep.
and then wait until I'm like, oh, I could do the production again, and then just grind out a couple more.
Some that you're extra hyped about.
Exactly.
That you're like, this, I can see this as more.
Yeah.
And that's how I came to choose the other ones. Is like,
Yeah.
these are the ones that I keep being hyped about, so I'm choosing these ones. And
Yep.
it's like,
But it is
grows.
cool being able to hear your music on Spotify and say that it's out there, even if not
It
a
is.
bunch of people. Like that was never been the goal, and
yeah.
I don't feel like even when I post it, I mean, I was checking every now and then, like, oh, how am I doing? But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like it was just a fun thing that we got to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like similar with this podcast.
Right.
I haven't looked at my one single numbers for a while, but like, I think it's very interesting to see the numbers.
Yeah.
So it's like for like per episode, analyzing what people like and don't like. It'll be interesting comparing. Oh, I like this song the best, but everybody else liked this song the least.
Yeah.
So why is it? I don't know. It's
I'm
just,
going through that with
you
my
never
5
know.
songs, and like it's all over the place, which is so
Yeah.
interesting. And you see on a micro scale how much work it puts for us to do this.
Yeah.
You can just imagine some of these top artists and top podcasts that are putting so much work into it and what they have to track to make sure that they're doing everything correctly.
Yep.
For us, we can kind of just take a step back and say, okay, like, I'm not trying to be there, but
Yeah.
even our friends that are kind of in the middle, like working their way up, like it's a crazy industry. So I'm just thankful to be here with our our wonderful studio that will be changing probably month to month.
Oh. Yeah.
But this was a lot of fun. Anything else you want to talk about 2024? I feel like I'm good to wrap it up.
I mean, it's gonna be. No, I got nothing. Like I could go in 5 directions.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good though. It's good to have the podcast back. I feel like it's good to know. I think the skills did transfer over, at least for the most
But they
part.
feel that
from
way.
the last time. It feels that way.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
And we'll see, because I the editing might just be a completely different beast with video editing and make
Right.
it just learn everything from scratch from there compared to audio.
But I'm
And
confident
we'll
it's gonna
see.
be we're gonna be
But,
set. We're gonna be good.
might have a couple
we
more
have some
angles.
cool episodes coming up in this year. They're gonna
Yeah.
be more spaced out, so we're gonna try and make them a little higher quality, and
Yep.
it's gonna be awesome. I'm super stoked.
Yes.
Super
yeah.
stoked.
So just a little sampler, but we're gonna get back into the deeper dives of anything
Yes.
that you heard us mention in this one. If you're like, hey, you should definitely talk about that more,
Right.
and we haven't already had an episode on it, then
Yeah.
we might take your suggestion.
We are the kings. Who knows?
Yeah.
We don't even know what the next episode is going to be, so we don't have anything for you to look
plan.
forward to except the fact that we're back, baby.
We're back. Yeah,
It was
you got
not the end.
That to look forward to.
It's a new beginning. It's a new season.
We're
We're gonna get copyrighted again. Me and Sam also maybe have a song coming out. We're gonna work on a new song soon.
Yes, we have it.
We'll give you some
Coming out
tastes of it
soon.
throughout the podcast. Soon is like probably
Yeah.
like another year.
And we're going to have a new My Pod Shuffle intro at some point.
Yes,
Not
bunch
soon,
of new stuff
probably.
coming.
A
I'm
lot
stoked.
yeah.
You're stoked.
We take
They're
our time.
stoked.
We're all
Everybody's stoked. All right. Sign off. Hit the
Sign
button,
off
and
now.
maybe it'll work this time.
All right.
No. Not that button. Not that
this button.
That button. Okay, I'll press it. There
I
we
knew,
are.
for the record, I knew what button it was.
2024 in recap. My Pod Shuffle, we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back. That's our whole
back.
year.
We're back. We're back.
That's our whole lives in a box in 1 year,
Yep.
in 1 hour.
You're all caught up. You can't be mad at us for
Don't
being
ask
gone
me
for a
anything
year.
about my life in 2024.
All right. Well, See ya.